Welcome to the YWEA podcast. We are here with Professor Deshpande from the Harvard Business School. Today we are talking about cross-cultural marketing and how the interaction between corporate and national culture influences the development of global marketing strategies. Are we assisting the end of the general market and the beginning of a multicultural marketing approach?
No, I think they coexist. I see it as a continuum. With one end is kind of a standardized approach, which is the same all over the world, and the other one, which is multicultural. So it's almost like a pendulum that swings between the two. For a while, it's, I think, been much more on the end of a standardized approach everywhere, and now it's swinging more towards multicultural, but I don't think it's the end. So I think the pendulum will continue to swing. I don't think it's going to rest somewhere. And I think the reason for that is because the large organizations, big corporations, who favor a standardized approach because it's more profitable to have scale, or economies of scale and scope, they're learning that standardized approach does not work in certain regions, like the BRIC countries, for instance, the four major economic markets that are of great interest to companies right now. So they're realizing that standardized approach may not work in these economies, so they're tailoring it to make it local. But on the other hand, if you're very, very local, it becomes very unprofitable. So that's why I think they have to coexist.
Does a cross-cultural marketing strategy exist?
Basically, we want to talk about two levels. Let's take the area of branding. I think there is room for a global brand and local execution. So the local execution is culturally stratified. It's tailored to a local culture, but there is a global brand meaning that goes across all. So if you take the example of a well-known brand like Apple, Apple has a global brand that means the same thing everywhere across the world. On the other hand, specific applications make more sense in particular cultures than in other cultures.
What is the difference between marketing as a strategy and marketing as a culture?
So the way I think about it is, like you could think of three circles. So the outer circle is culture, the next circle is strategy, and the inside circle is execution of tactics. So in order to execute well, you have to have a strategy that pulls your tactics together. But in order to make the strategy work, you have to have people. And people means you need a culture. So that's the outside circle is the culture. Then the next circle is the strategy. So I think culture comes first.
What is the interaction between corporate and national culture, and how do they influence the development of global marketing strategy?
What I'm finding in my research, as you might know, is that corporate organizational culture dominates or trumps national culture. By that I mean that the best companies, the most effective and most profitable companies, are companies that have a similar corporate culture, although they might be headquartered in different countries. And that corporate culture has four characteristics. These are companies that are customer-centric, they are very innovative, they reward their employees for customer-centric innovation, and they're highly decentralized. So basically, to take a country that you were just visiting, China, and take another country, Italy. So the best companies from Italy and the best companies in China have the same corporate culture. What I'm finding is that the companies that are the best performers and players have somehow evolved or converged to have the same business model. That's why the example of China, or maybe even Vietnam, there are companies there that have learned what's the best way to do business across the world, right?
That was Professor Deshpande from Harvard Business School.